Hey, what's going on everyone? Virgos here. If any of you have watched my previous video regarding the state of play when it comes to Ultimate Gley this Season 1, perhaps I spoke too soon. Alright, my Gley friends, it's time to rejoice because with the recent patch notes, some of the weapons have been reworked or have been buffed, and one of the weapons that is worth mentioning is the Executor shotgun. Now they have massively buffed its unique effect, and we'll talk about that in a second when we are discussing the modules. So first things first, as for the reactor for the setup, you don't need any type of specific reactor as long as that reactor has a skill duration up and a skill cooldown substats. Now if you can get yellow rolls for those, then that will be the best for this setup, because that will help you maintain your increased sensory or our unlimited ammo with a 100% uptime. Okay. And for this setup as well, we are not going to be dealing any skill damage at all, so we are speccing into the Annihilation set. Okay, so next up are the modules that I've been using for the setup. So they are almost the same with the Massacre setup in my Massacre build, but I've removed focus on non-attribute and replaced it with shot focus, and the Iron Defense, replaced it with shield conversion, and I've also slotted a non-upgraded focus on dimension because we don't need the skill damage. We're just after it because of the skill cooldown right there. Alright, so this setup is more focused on cooldown and duration. And if you look at my increased sensory right here, mine has a 0.4 seconds cooldown downtime because I don't have yellow rolls on my subset. But if you can get yellow rolls, then you will have 100% uptime with your increased sensory without any downtime at all. And as for our Transcendent module, I was hoping to use Predator Instinct, but I've tested it and it doesn't work with shotguns. I don't know why, but it just says here using a firearm while friendly gradually increases your firearm attack. So if we take it word by word, then it should work with any gun, but unfortunately this doesn't work. So don't mind the massive sanctification here. Okay, so let's go over the modules that we are going to be using for the setup. And as you can see right here, I am not using any firearm critical hit rate modules, because even without them, we are going to be going up to 100% firearm critical hit rate anyways, and that's because of the rework that they did with this weapon's unique ability. Okay, so regarding the weapon's unique ability, if you are planning to use this weapon, or if you want to use this weapon, make sure to upgrade it to level 4, because the difference from level 0 to level 4 is day and night. The damage difference is huge, and this is the reason why. Because every stack, we are getting 33% firearm critical hit rate, maxing up to 3 stacks, so that's about 99%, added to the 1% base critical hit rate damage, critical hit rate for this weapon, totals up to 100%, and we are also getting firearm critical hit damage as well, and also some weak point damage at maximum stack. And also, we are dealing an additional damage that is equal to our 100% of our firearm damage as electrocution damage as well. And as you can see on the right, when the weapon is at full stacks, you can see that my firearm critical hit rate is at 100%, and I'm getting some nice amount of firearm critical hit damage and weak point damage as well. Alright, so going back to the gun modules, and here we have our usuals. We have our firearm attack modules, we have our weak point damage modules, and we have our firearm critical hit damage modules, and we also have the fire rate up. And one thing to note, I did not include any elemental flex for this module because I don't want to waste any more catalysts for this, but having electric enhancement is a good thing as well, because this gun will be firing a lot of bullets whenever you hold the trigger, and I think we have a good chance of almost always applying the electrocution debuff, and that electrocution debuff from this module will decrease our target's defense. Okay, so let's go to this neat little module right here on the top left. So the shell up module, and it says here shell capacity by 33%. Now, this can be very confusing at first because you might think that this module will only increase your rounds per magazine. And you might ask yourself, why are we using this if we are using Gley that has unlimited ammo? But the thing is, this shell out actually increases the amount of bullets that your shotgun fires every time you hold down the trigger. So at base, every time you fire your shotgun, it will fire 15 bullets, and then if you put shell up, it goes up all the way up to 19. So technically you are dealing more 33% more damage if you have this module here. Okay, so coming up is the special mod, which is the real life fighter. And even if the shotgun has a horrible accuracy, since we are firing 19 bullets every time you fire your weapon, and as long as you play it right, as long as you aim it right, you are always going to be getting that 100% firearm attack from the real life fighter mod. Okay, so you might be also wondering why we are not using any accuracy mod. It's because whenever you hold the trigger down, even if your crosshair starts really small with that accuracy mode, when you hold that down for a couple of seconds, it will always be at the maximum level like this. So using accuracy mod is a waste of slot. Okay, so what's a verdict for this weapon? And in my opinion, for Gley at least, this weapon is way better than the Greg service weight, even with the Enzo buff. It is way better than the Enduring Legacy, and it pains me to say this, but it even outshines the Massacre setup as well. Okay, and just to clear up the common misconception about the weapon as well, that you have to play up close and personal with the boss when you're using this, and I'm gonna prove you wrong. I'm gonna include a Gluttony footage by the end of this video, so make sure to watch that. And you have to be close, but not really that close. Okay, so just be careful when you're using this when fighting Gluttony, and always be mindful of that front swipe attack, because if you get hit by that, you're gonna die. Okay, all right, so that's all from me today, and thanks for tuning in, and happy hunting. Where it goes out.